This tumor, although we don't know for sure what it is, looks a lot like a really, really, really bad tumor called a soft tissue sarcoma. Well, so you've got a tumor in the back of your leg.
Is that what it is?
That is what it is. So you don't know anything about it.
No, he pointed it out to me about 4 or 5 weeks ago. I said, you
What
need
is
to see
that?
a doctor about that. I used to be a nurse.
Ah.
I said, you need to see a doctor, so you need to get it x-rayed and probably do an MRI. They did that. And then here we are.
So you haven't seen the MRI yet?
No.
Oh, okay, perfect. Well, perfect in the sense that I'll show
I
it
read the
to you.
results, but that doesn't really tell me a whole. It's not as good as visual.
I think so. I feel the same way. So we'll go over that today and take a look and kind of try to orient you. Before we get into the tumor and what's next for that, and we will go through all that, I just want to find out who you are, what you've been doing for these last, up to this point in your life. Are you retired? Are you working?
I'm retired.
What kind of work did you do?
Factory.
Yeah?
I worked at first job was L.R. Nelson Sprinkler Company.
Oh.
Okay, so I worked in a factory, and then I was going to school, so I ended up being an engineer, and then they ended up making me a supervisor. And so I left there and went to Caterpillar. After 12 years, I left and went to Caterpillar because they built a brand new plant, and they needed me, so they came after me.
Nice. So you got recruited. It's always nice to be recruited, isn't
Yeah.
it?
So I worked there for 17 years? Yeah, 17 years. And then they went on strike, and it was a small town, 10,000 people, nothing but fighting.
Oh.
And I couldn't take that.
Yeah.
So I ended up going into sales. So I sold tools to factories in 4 states.
Wow.
Yep.
So you have the 2 kids, and they
We have
both
4
live-
kids.
4 kids. Oh,
3
good.
now live in Arizona. 1 still in Illinois.
Wow.
Yep.
And how many grandkids?
12.
Wow, good for you. Look what you guys got going. Look where you started.
Yeah.
Our baby just turned 18 today. Our baby grandchild
The youngest grandchild is
just turned
18.
18
Yep.
today.
How does that make you feel?
Oh.
I would think so. I didn't want to say it, but I would
Yeah.
think so. All right. Let's talk about health. Any health problems?
Yeah.
Have you ever?
You take cholesterol pills
Okay.
and you take blood pressure pills.
Yeah.
But so
But nothing.
routine
blood pressure
stuff.
is
But
mild,
he's been healthy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And no heart disease, lung disease. You ever had surgery?
Yeah.
What'd you have?
Appendix was
Okay.
out, and
Get your knee out.
Knee.
On.
it was just they poked some stuff in there.
Yeah, but no problems with anesthesia or
No.
or heart issues
He's
around.
been healthy as a horse.
He's been healthy as a
Me,
horse.
that's not.
Oh, really? Oh, no, you look healthy. Well, looks can be deceiving, right? Okay, and certainly no blood, you're not taking any blood thinners or things that would interfere with surgery or
Nope.
anything like that. Okay, good, good. Never had a heart attack.
Nope.
All right. And I assume if you've been healthy, you've never had cancer or a tumor or anything of that nature.
No.
Okay, okay. And you felt it a couple weeks ago, and that was the first time. You've never felt it before that.
Not me. He never told me anything about it. I'm sure it's been there longer, but
Well, how would, I mean, it's in such an unusual place behind the knee that I'm sure it was kind of hard. And the rest of you have normal feeling, and everything feels, and everything's working normal in your legs. And nothing's bleeding. No bleeding like a hemorrhoid bleeding in the rectum or coughing up blood, and no fever, shakes, or chills when you're sleeping.
Nope.
Do you feel okay? Have you felt generally reasonably normal the last month or two?
Well, other than sometimes at night my leg
I
hurts a
think
little
he's more
bit.
tired.
What feels tired to you?
He's definitely more tired.
No, I'm not more tired. I just wake up too early.
Oh, you're having trouble sleeping?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, let's take a look at that.
Because I normally, we go to bed around 10 o'clock and then probably fall asleep around 10:30. But I'm waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock.
All right, I want to show you the MRI, and you're seeing just what I'm seeing. Can you see the screen okay?
Yep.
Okay, so you see his legs here in this image on your right. This now, don't be confused. This is the left leg. So this is backwards of what you would think, and this is the right leg. And if we look at his left leg, you see him standing. Here's his knees. See the knee joints on both sides. And as we go down into the leg, most of this is muscle. So his heel would be down here, and his knee is up here. And in the right leg, we have this abnormality, this white thing. This is the tumor.
It's pretty large.
Well, it's exactly, I would say, what you feel. It's kind of rubbery. See how it's got some areas that are bright white and some areas that are dark? That suggests that there's something called necrosis inside the tumor. There's some areas have one character, other areas have another character. In MRI, because the images are made by the computer, we can section it in different planes. And if you section it, this image on your left, this is if it's sectioned perpendicular. And in this image, this is the tumor, this structure here. And we get that same picture of it having kind of different composition. It seems like it comes very close. This is the fibula bone right here.
Okay.
It comes very close to that bone. And it could be that it is a tumor that originated out of that bone. It could also be a tumor that originated, there's a nerve running through that area. And we do sometimes see tumors that come off of the nerve sheath and can grow and look like that. But overall, while there's a bunch of different, with tumors, the type of tumor that it is depends on the cell that it originated on. And it could have been, we can't tell from the MRI, we can make a guess, but we can't tell exactly what that cell is. I would say if you asked me, normally people say, okay, great, doc, what is it? You know, the certain answer is we don't know for sure. And in oncologic and tumor medicine, we have a saying, tissue is the issue. We know what it is when we take a piece of it, cut it up in a laboratory and look at it under a microscope, and then can say with certainty what it is. Sometimes special stains are required, sometimes other processing needs to be done. But the doctor who will tell us both what it is a pathologist, and the next step is to get it to a pathologist. How do we get it out of the body?
Who does a biopsy?
Who does that? So there's two types of surgeons who routinely handle these kind. This is, it's on the surface, you can feel it, it needs to be removed. There's two types of surgeons who typically handle this problem. One is an orthopedic surgeon who specializes in tumors. Another would be an oncologist, a general surgeon who specializes in tumors. Of the two, I would feel more comfortable with this particular tumor. I would recommend an orthopedic oncologist. There is a nerve which runs right through there. It may have originated on bone. It's kind of the home team. It's kind of like having two really good teams. One's the visitor and one's the home team. The home team probably has a slight advantage. So we want every advantage, so we'll go with the home team. That would be an orthopedic oncologist in this case.
Yeah, how important is timing in all of this?
It's critical. This tumor, although we don't know for sure what it is, looks a lot like a really, really, really bad tumor called a soft tissue sarcoma. And a soft tissue sarcoma, these are very aggressive tumors. They grow not only quickly locally, but they spread out throughout your body, and they do that spreading by going through the lymphatic system or the blood system. If we knew that it was going to spread tomorrow, we would get him in a hospital and do the surgery today. It's probably not going to spread tomorrow. We've got a little time, meaning days to weeks to get this set up. But this is the priority. There's no other, there's nothing else in your life from this moment on that takes priority over this tumor. This is a problem that, if not dealt with, is fatal. We got to take care of this, and we got to take care of it now.
Yep.
Well, my concern is the time that he thought it was noticeable enough to say, gee, this is bothering me, what do you think, to where it is now, to getting in here to see you, and what's the timing to get at the next step, because I know I had breast cancer in 17, And they were very busy, and it was delayed like, I don't know, 7 weeks. And they were sure it was stage 1, but by the time they did the surgery, one of my lymph nodes had evidence of spread, so I had to go through a completely different mode of treatment.
Right. We're not doing that.
That's what I'm most concerned about.
I hear you, and I agree with you entirely. One thing we do have kind of going for us is there aren't really a lot of choices. There's only 1 or 2 of these orthopedic, even here in Phoenix, the 5th largest city in America, there's only 1 or 2 of these surgeons. And so we're gonna, and they're in the same office. So we're So we're gonna send you to them, and we'll push them hard to get it going quickly. These tumors, we don't know what it is, but let's say it's this soft tissue sarcoma. The typical management for that would be to resect the tumor as much as possible to get margins around it, and then to do radiation to sterilize the field. So that combination of surgical resection followed by radiation is common. There are some tumors where the radiation would not be required, and until they know what it is by the tissue, they won't know. Even Dr. Seidel, who's an expert in this kind of tumor, they won't really know what to do until they see the tissue. Well, usually people have a lot of questions about tumors. It's a shock. I'm sorry.
Well, I read the MRI, so I came prepared more than probably he is, but I didn't want to say anything until he spoke to the expert.
What are you thinking?
Get it done.
Get her done?
Yeah, that's all I'm thinking.
He's been making jokes about getting a peg leg and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm happy to tell you that is a joke, because it didn't used to be.
Oh.
Prior to radiation, because they couldn't remove when you remove a tumor that's aggressive, even though you get out all of it that you can see, there's microscopic disease that has spread. And so in order to get it all out, amputation.
Oh.
Above the knee amputation.
Okay.
You know, this is not the 1800s or even the 1900s. We've got better techniques today. And these days, the combination of surgical, what they call marginal resection, taking it out around its margins, and then radiation either before or after, saves you your leg.
Good.
Yeah, of course.
Might affect your golf game.
Yeah.
I think what you need to do, I think your attitude is the exact right one. Get her done. And
Yep.
I like this. What you should keep her. This is working out for you, buddy. You should keep her. We need to get this moving and get it done and get it figured out.
I'm ready.
What are you going to tell the kids?
They're all coming over to our house.
I'll let her tell
They
them.
already know that he's undergoing an examination for this.
Yeah.
And, so.
I would.
I mean, they're all adults, so I'll be truthful. I mean, there's nothing to say but the truth.
There's nothing to say but the truth. The phrase in the MRI report, I think, is helpful: soft tissue sarcoma, nerve sheath tumor. And I think the message to the adult kids who, you've been an adult kid. It's not easy getting health scares with your parents. The message is, Dad's got a tumor. We don't know what it is. We're going to the very best doctor in the country to find out. He's a super specialist. He's a specialized surgeon, an orthopedic surgeon who subspecializes in tumors exactly of this type. There is no better doctor to help us, and we're going to find out what it is. And as soon as we know what it is, you'll know. This is you talking to your kids.
Okay.
I mean, we went through it with me, so I mean, it's.
Good point. They've got experience.
Yeah.
If you have any, usually what happens is when you hear something like, I have a tumor, nothing else registers.
Well, I mean, I'm not a teary person, but when I got that, I was like, oh, jeez,
Yeah. Well, this is your cross to bear, and I'm here to help. So if you leave here and you have a lot of questions, don't hesitate to contact me. All right, good to meet you guys.
Okay.